Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is a one shot of The Hunted by Chris Bissett. We're playing this early on a Sunday morning. I picked this up and it was very cool, and I decided I wanted to run it. This is a horror game using a version of Forged in the Dark with some minor changes. We have sort of four character archetypes that are built, and then our characters get hunted. And I'll explain what that means in just a second. This session is part of Open Hearth Gaming, which is an online gaming club slash community. You can find out more about that at openhearthgaming.com. And there's going to be a link in the show notes if you're so inclined to check that out. So this is, go through the cats setup for everything. This is a one shot. Our characters are in a wild, isolated place in the main book, the moors of England, but we can choose whatever we want, a forest, desert, whatever we want to decide. There are going to be some choices that we'll make that will shape what the environment is that they're in. They are isolated, and there's some tensions among the group, and then things get worse. The touchstones for this are, of course, the Blair Witch Project. There's also a more recent movie called The Ritual. There's an older movie, Troll Hunter, kind of is in the same ethos. They also mention a little bit different, but A Field in England, that very strange movie, as people out in a wild place and things go wrong. It is a game about isolation and kind of creeping decay. Our game is set very structured. We have an act one in which we will make up characters, introduce those characters, get some relationship questions, and then we'll establish some facts about the setting. We'll go through the setup questions and get that rolling. And that will then end with the appearance of the hunter making a move. Act two is our characters moving, trying to survive, trying to do things in the environment. That act will end with a plot twist, and there's a set of choices that the group makes for what is the plot twist, and then that kind of leads us into the end game for play. I mentioned before that this is a Forged in the Dark game. What that means is our characters have uh, uh, actions. Those are those dots that are grouped under nerve, wits, and luck. Those ratings are usually 1 or 2 or nothing, often nothing. You get to kind of choose which which action you want to roll with. You will roll a pool of dice. There are ways to get some more dice that I'll explain. And then we look at the highest number of those that is rolled, and that gives us our results. There are two differences from classic Forged in the Dark that are worth pointing out. One is you always get a die. That's a little bit different. You always start with one die, and then the dots that you have in an action add to that. The second one is if you roll a 6, that's a full success. Perfect. If you roll a 5, that's a success with either taking harm or a minor complication. If you roll a 4, it's success, but you take harm and take a major complication. And then a 1 to 3 as your highest die is a failure. We'll walk through this each time because it's a little bit different for me from standard Forged in the Dark, so I've got to get used to that. Basically, you're creating a pool of dice to do those things. There are a couple of ways to get additional dice. One is that someone else can help you. If someone else is helping you do something, They spend a point of their fear to resource that we have. It's like stress. They mark a box off their fear track. They give you an extra die. But the other two ways to do this are you can mark to fear yourself and give yourself an extra die. That's not a great choice. That's using up your resources. But the other thing you can do is you can spin a story. If you're looking on the character tab, you'll see that each one of the characters has a set of, under when it says bonus die, of things they can tell about the hunter. So essentially, you can do that, sort of like a devil's bargain in original Force of Dark. You tell us something about the hunter, you add a die, and then you roll the pool. Again, I will go through those options when we get to playing, when we get to rolling and so on. I just wanted to point that out. Uh, this is a horror game. Talk about tone. And not necessarily a gory game. This is definitely a game about suspense and rising tension. This is an awful place. It's about some dread. Hell is other people, but also hell is this hunter that is hunting you, that is pursuing you, that will figure out what they're like, whether they're a dead by daylight killer or they're a monster or something else. We will figure that out in play. One of the things I do want to mention about the telling stories, the spinning stories, it is okay if you're when you tell a story about the hunter, if it contradicts what someone else has already said, because that's how urban legends work, is people have very different rumors, very different stories. Uh, so those are important things. Last thing is, as with all games on Open Hearth, we use a layered set of safety tools. We are using lines and veils. That's on the safety and resources tab. Lines, marking those out as anything that we don't want to see in the game. Veils being anything that we don't want to have like immediately on screen. We might fade to black, or we talk about it at a distance. And then ask first anything we'd want to check in with people about before we brought that in as a topic. So we brought that in as a detail. So that's our baseline things. I'll go through that like after we do the introductions. If there are things that are not on that list that you wish to add to that, feel free to do that. The next thing is we have the X card. X card is the way that we kind of stop to mark out something that we find problematic, that we find objectionable, that we find wildly off tone. You can say X card, or you can do the X card safety gesture, either one of those. That's better than in the chat because I'll miss the chat sometimes. The only thing we're going to ask if you invoke the X card is like maybe how far back we need to go. You don't need to defend your choice or explain your choice for the X card. You are welcome to explain your choice, but you are not obligated to. The X card is an important tool, especially is because this is a one shot, first time we played together. If maybe in play we start to head towards something that we've marked as a line or a veil, and you've noticed it, it's worth X carding to say, hey, I think we're heading towards that. Maybe we want to curve or change away from that. The last thing we have is the open door policy, which means that if you need to step away, if you need to leave for whatever reason, feel free to do that. It'd be great in the chat if you could say, hey, I'm going to be back or not back, but you're not obligated to. It's just that if you're not digging it, or something is going wrong, you should always feel free to leave. You will not be judged for that. So that is a possibility out there. Dom, this is the first time you've played with me. If I get to talking too fast, I tell this to everybody, or if my Hoosier accent becomes unintelligible, just ask me to repeat myself, because I have been known to do that with people. I'm going to tell you that now, so I will not feel bad if you ask me to repeat. Uh, so those are our big things. We do have a romance matrix as well. I'm not sure how much that's going to play into our character interactions or choices, but you can make those choices there. The romance matrix that's on the safety and resources tab off to the right hand. Uh, you can say whether you're interested in our character interactions being romance plots with NPCs, with PCs, or want to check in first. So feel free to fill that in. Okay. With that in mind, we have 4 character archetypes. We have our jock, we have our outsider, we have the resilient, the kind of survival aimed character, and we have the skeptic who perhaps doesn't believe in things. So I want to have people say what they are potentially interested in, and I'm going to go in order of arrival. David, do you have a strong sense of an archetype you'd like to play, or a couple of archetypes?
Resilient or skeptic is fine with me.
Res or skeptic? Mark?
I was looking at the outsider or the skeptic.
Outsider, skeptic. Dom, any of these that appeal to you particularly?
I'm fine with any choice. If people want, they can choose what they would prefer, and I'll just speak whatever's left.
Okay, sounds good. Mads, is there one that you would prefer?
I would be excited to play the jock or the outsider.
Outsider. Okay, David, I come back to you. You've mentioned the resilient and the skeptic. Uh, uh, Now, knowing what other people have said, either one of those that you're like, this is what I'm going to choose now.
Nobody else said resilient, so we'll take resilient.
Okay. Mark, you're muted.
There we go. I think I will go with the outsider.
Outsider. Dom, that gives you the skeptic. Is that okay?
That's okay with me.
Okay. And that gives you the jock, Mads.
Very cool. Thank
Okay.
you.
So here is what you're going to do right now. You are going to look at your character, and you are going to assign 3 action dots. Essentially, no action of the like flee, still, hold, scout, etc. None of them can have more than 2 dots right now, but you've got three additional dots to add to your character wherever you want. So go ahead, and those, if you have questions about what those actions might mean, I will be glad to answer that. You are then going to choose one of the special abilities that is listed for your character down below. Uh, we've got, like, for example, the jock has natural leader, square up, and if you don't see me again. Again, if you have questions about what those mean in the context of the game, you can ask. And then you're going to answer 2 character questions. And we're going to do that after we do introductions. We're going to have people introduce themselves, and then we'll do those character question things. So everybody go ahead, put your dots, clicking on those boxes to set that, and pick your ability. And when you're set, if you just write set or okay in the chat, so I know everybody is good.
Could you describe what the hold and scrap stats do?
Yeah. So scrap is very much the fight. It's the essentially I don't know, hand-to-hand combat, wrestling, all of that kind of thing. Uh hold is, and I'm going to look up how it describes it because this is one that is a little bit uh
I
different here.
have the book in front of me too, if you want me to
Yeah, I think
list what it says.
I've printed out some of this the stuff here. So let me, I want to do this just so I remember where the thing is. Hold, stand firm and maintain your resolve. Like hold steady in the face of things.
Okay, and is still more like a stealth thing then?
Yes, still is do your best to remain quiet and
Mm.
unnoticed.
Got
What
it.
about risk?
Risk is when you take a chance or do something foolhardy or desperate.
And what would be the difference between scout and track?
Scout is our kind of perception, find landmarks, know the right way to go. It's particularly for checking the environment
Mm.
for things. And then track is looking for clues and actually kind of following and trying to figure out what's going on with those tracks.
Got it.
And once everybody's ready, I'll have you introduce your character. I'll ask you what your character's name is. So remember to have that. There is a little space there if you find a picture for your character.
I have a question.
Sure.
Um, the Resilient has a special ability called My Own Personal Hell. And it says that anytime you spin a story about the hunter to gain a die, it says you can choose to answer one of the questions to the right instead of a normal myth question. What are the questions to the right?
So the questions to the right would be the questions to the right on the character keeper. So in this case, it would be the questions that are under the skeptics listing.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it says that one of the big differences is that when I use that ability, myself and another character take a point of fear instead of the guide taking a myth point. What is a myth point?
Oh, yes, I should mention that, shouldn't I? So one of the resources that I have are myth points. That allows me to make hard moves whenever I would like. Uh, those are essentially free-floating problems for you. I start with some myth points, and in fact, I will spend them to transfer us from Act 1 to Act 2. So that process like gives me how do I put this an opportunity to interrupt what you're doing.
Got it.
It looks like on the actual sheets from the book, to the right, there's a separate set of personal hell questions.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, is there?
yeah,
Oh,
I can pull those up if you want because
oh yeah.
I have
Yeah,
my own
I just
character
pasted
keeper
them
that
in.
I
lists all that.
missed that. Yes,
Yeah,
thank
no
you.
worries. I can totally
Yeah,
do that.
I just put them in chat. So
I apologize. Thank you.
okay.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and pull
Thank
my
you.
old sheet up. Yep.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Did you get it already?
Yeah, it's in the chat here.
Okay, great.
I'm so proud of my keeper. There I falling down. Let me give everyone a minute or two to make your choices. And then we'll do introductions.
And we're waiting to do character questions.
Yes, we'll do
Okay.
introductions and then we'll do character questions.
Okay.
So Mads, I would like to start with you as you're on the far left. Are you ready to introduce your character?
Yeah. Don't have a picture, but it's fine.
So feel free to introduce yourself and your pronouns, your character's name and their pronouns, and then how you are envisioning them. And we'll go through that. Maybe tell us what the special ability is that you've chosen.
Sure. Okay. So my character is the jock, Emma Gray, she, her. She is a jock in that she is like, she works out at the gym, she does CrossFit, functional fitness, whatever it's called these days. And she is muscular, so she's not cut. I mean, like, because she likes her carbs, so like, she's a little bit like flabby, but she definitely has some strength to her. And she also, again, like, looks athletic, but I mean, like, she also kind of hides the fact that she like wants to study to be an engineer. So she does a lot with like figuring out details and also trying to put things together, like, found things and just trying to figure out how they can be useful. Like for her skill points. But she can be good in a fight. That doesn't want to. She'll try to de-escalate first before she even gets into that mode. But I mean, like she likes to you know, uh, be strong, but also smart. And so let's see, what did I pick? I picked If You Don't See Me Again, which is when you throw yourself into harm's way to protect your friends or take a bold action to help everyone get away, take another die on your roll. So pick that.
Classic martyr ability there. That we'll look to see what happens. All
Hopefully
right.
we won't have to use it, but we'll
Yes.
see.
All right. Thank you much. We'll come back to you on the first of your character questions after we get all the introductions done. Mark, tell us about your character.
Yeah. I am playing Stuart Linderman, he, him, and he's the outsider. I think he is a guy that eventually graduated high school and kind of drives rideshare, hangs out at the gas station, is like the cool guy that kids go to buy them cigarettes and beer. Um, and yeah, but that's all I got so far.
Okay.
The special ability I took, similarly, Hidden Depths. You're braver than anybody, including you ever expected. When I put myself in harm's way to protect a friend, take +1 die to my roll. And if I succeed, with a 6, I clear a fear.
Excellent. Excellent. I love the idea of everyone throwing themselves in the way of harm to allow the others to get away. Next, that brings us to David. David.
Yes, hello. I am going to be playing as Belladonna, she, her. You can also abbreviate that to Bella. They are the resilient. My thinking for them is, and I say this after having reviewed Lines and Veils, so I want to make sure that this gels with everyone. But the special ability I've taken is my own personal hell, which means that I have been here in this isolated location we're now finding ourselves. I've been here before and survived to tell the tale. I can spin a story, and I have a special pick list of prompts I can answer from when I do these things. The guide does not take a myth point, but myself and one other character each take a point of fear. The thing that I was thinking for my character's background, having a reason why I've been here before, is one of two things. I was thinking either I could have been raised out here for at least some part of my life, maybe not my whole childhood, but for part of it, in what amounts to a now extinct cult. And they might have had a compound out here. Or alternatively, I might have been sent out here as a troubled teenager to one of those sketchy and I think thankfully now going out of vogue troubled youth kind of compounds that they have no evidence base for them and are generally thought of as being not good. But I also want to respect that we have a line on harm to children, and I wanted to clarify kind of how far that goes. I was thinking of being in my mid-teens when this happened, not a small child necessarily. Um so I was thinking one of those two things, and I wanted to check with the group to see what people were most comfortable with and what sounded the most fun to folks before I really stuck with one of those options.
Anyone have some thoughts? Certainly, from me, I always picture our harm to children as being preteens, as being the ones that we're talking about within that. But I want to make sure that everybody is cool with that.
Routine. Yeah. Mhm.
I would say, Dom, are you good with that?
Yeah, that's fine to me.
Okay. I would say my suggestion would be the latter, the troubled teen thing, in that it doesn't necessarily uh, uh, establish some particular things about the setting, that since we're going to go through and do some questions.
That makes sense. Okay, so we'll go with that. There was a a camp or a compound somewhere out here. It has long gone by now under the weight of lawsuits and maybe a mysterious death that happened that was
Hmm.
ruled an accident. But they're not around anymore. And now I'm back.
Excellent. And last but not least, Dom, tell us about your character.
I'm going to be playing Luke McCullough, the skeptic. And what I'm thinking about him is that he had like a cousin or something that heavily believed like in the supernatural and in all the conspiracy theories, and went down the rabbit hole, and possibly like even brought like the family into financial ruin with all the debt he uh, gathered through those conspiracy theories research. And now Luke basically wanting to prove his cousin obviously took up the role of like ghost hunter, and he's going around looking for ghosts and other like supernatural things just to further debunk them and prove that there's no basis for these, just all just uh, urban legends, nothing concrete, to basically just show his cousin that you just screwed up in the family for no good reason and trying to get him back to see reason.
Nice, nice.
And for the special abilities, I took debunk the myth. When you and at least one of your companions takes a moment to rest and recuperate, choose a story that has been told about the hunter and explain why it can be possibly be true. Mark this ability and the guy that uses their meat pool by 1. You gain 1 fear for each mark the ability has.
Excellent. All right, I love it. We are now going to go around. Each of you has a set of character questions. I'm going to have you answer one of those, and then the other of those. For those character questions, when we go through them, uh, you're going to pick the 2 that are best. And I believe that you can essentially put those, well, in one place it says one thing, another. You'll do one to the person on your left on the character keeper and another to the person on your right. So everybody will kind of go to the people that are next to them. So let's kind of do the character questions that face right. So Mads, what question do you want to have for your relationship with Stuart Linderman?
I would like to ask, or I should say, you're my oldest friend. When did we meet?
Mm. I think we met in grade school. Probably like second or third grade when one of us moved here, and yeah, I think we were friends throughout grade school and probably drifted apart in like junior high, but still like knew each other casually.
You good with that, Emma?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Stuart, which question do you want to pose to Bella?
I think that would be, what secret did we learn together that we can never tell?
Um, Tell me what you think of this. We are half siblings, but our respective moms cannot find out.
That's awesome. I love that.
Nice. And then Bella, what question do you want to put to Luke?
Luke, what did I say to you that gave you a hint about my dark past?
Perhaps, maybe, like one day or evening, we were just like hanging out. Bella, maybe like on the television or the radio, there was something about like a compound was related to like cult activities that was recently discovered like by the police, and then it's like shut it down, raided, and like you had like a strange reaction towards it. They gave me a clue that perhaps you experienced like something like this in the past.
Are you good with that, Bella? Like Luke is more aware of the troubles that you face at the compound before?
Yep, that works.
Okay. And then Luke, what question do you want to put to Emma?
When did we have an argument because I was wrong and refused to admit it?
I think I mean, I'm assuming that we're like either college age or like,
That seems to be where we're headed. Yeah.
okay, great. All right. So I think that maybe we were in the same, like, I don't know, like engineering class or whatever together at one point, and you were so sure that what you were posing was correct. And I had said to you, no, you didn't read those journal articles that that we had in the first chapter of our textbook. But you were so sure that what you were saying like, your posited theory was like, so right that you would not even listen to me when I said, here it is. Here's the articles. Dude, come on.
That work for you, Dom?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. Let's come back the other way. I want to start with Bella. Bella, what's your uh question for Steward?
So Stewart, people call me cold and distant, but you know I'm not. What experience do we share that makes us close?
Mm. Um, that's a great question. Um, I think we were um probably at like a house party or something, and someone that neither one of us knew like got too drunk or otherwise like got themselves in a bad situation, and the two of us sort of got together to get them sorted out and get them to safety. I think maybe you initiated it.
Got it.
Nice. And then Stewart, your one back to Emma.
Yeah, Emma, when was the time that you came to my defense in a social situation?
Social situation. Ooh. Maybe, hold on, let me just like double check here. Okay. Yeah, maybe we were at a party and like, some people were kind of talking behind your back at the party and like, saying either what kind of weirdo you were or just like, something that like I knew was not correct. And I went over and basically told them to leave you alone because, they didn't know you, you didn't know them, and that was pretty shitty for them to do that to you. And I think I had actually gone over and kind of struck up a conversation with you, and then like maybe that's where we kind of renewed like our friendship. Um, because it's like, it'd been a while, but I mean like I didn't see any reason why they were giving you shit. So
Nice. And then Emma, your question for Luke.
what secret moment did we share recently?
Oh, that's a tough one. Perhaps we had a moment where Luke confided about his goal, about his desire to debunk all of these supernatural and like ghost claims around the country and the world. Look at his family's financial situation and were having his cousin, and he can like do that to Emma in a secret.
Okay.
That work for you, Emma?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
And then lastly, Dom, what is your question for Bella?
Why did you come to me for advice recently?
Um, let's see here. What does did you say that Luke has a particular occupation or a specific thing that they're a specialty they have a specialty with?
They're basically a ghost hunter. They go around and basically look up claims of ghosts and other supernatural phenomena around the country, go there, uh, look around, search to debunk them, and basically show that there's nothing going on. It's all just mumbo jumbo.
Okay. So Bella came to you because they thought that they had been seeing spectral visions and signs of a person they went to troubled teen school with who has died. I refuse to mention how. But they have been seeing spectral signs of them, and they thought you might be able to clarify whether this is real or whether it's just all in my head. Regardless of what you said, I seemed disappointed.
Nice.
That's
All right. To go over our safety and resources before we get into kind of doing the setup. We have hard lines on harm to children, homophobia, racism, sexual assault, torture by the PCs, and transphobia. Those are just topics that in our particular movie, those aren't things that we are hitting on. And then we have fails on graphic gore or sexual content, meaning that the physical horrors that we might see, well, depending on what our hunter is, will be more alluded to than described. The camera will not. So we are more PG-13 than we are rated R in some ways. And then lastly, an ask first on mind control. This is generally like if someone were to suggest something about the hunter having some powers like that. That was one we want to check in on before we get to that. So we have to decide where we are. If we look at the setup tab, they have some options there. A vast barren moorland at a high elevation. That's the sort of default suggestion that's given. I suspect Chris Bissett is English and has set that up. This is sort of American Werewolf in London, early part. There's also I think the ritual also technically I can't remember, but that kind of thing. Or a sprawling, dense forest in the depths of a deep valley. Classic isolated woodlands. Number 3, dank, sucking boglands at the very edge of the country. High exposed peak in a mountain range. A network of unmapped subterranean tunnels and caves. I am going to X-card that, given how much spelunking terrifies me. I'm just going to admit right now. Or a small secluded community cut off from the rest of the world. Anyone have like a strong sense that this is very much what they would like to do?
I like 2 and 6 personally, but
2 and 6, sprawling dense forest, small isolated community. Other thoughts from folks?
I like both of those. I'd be curious what the community might be on 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, those are both good for me.
I sense
For me as well.
Midsommar for number 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking 3 or 6, but yeah, six is really intriguing.
Okay.
All right, let's play with that. That's a little bit unusual. Dom, are you good with that?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And I think we'll say, if I may, to frame this up, we're US, maybe we're in Appalachian country or Midwestern kind of area where we're out in the middle of nowhere. The community that we're at is very isolated, cut off in some ways. So with that in mind, that we're in this small secluded community that's cut off, you all came here together, and they have a set of suggestions for that. Weekend trip, researching local legends, lost someone a year ago and you're now here to scatter their ashes, religious pilgrimage, hunting for a long forgotten place for years, or explorers trying to chart a specific place. Strong senses on that one.
I mean, 2 and 5 would play into Luke's background.
Mm.
But I mean, 1 and 3 are just as good because again, I've seen these horror movies, so I don't love them all. So The only one I'm not interested in is the religious pilgrimage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not definitely not into that. Or I like my character wouldn't be into that.
Right. 2 does sound like it plays into what Luke has established as their background. And it makes sense that Bella might have been dragged along, given your knowledge of this place.
Right. Yeah. Reluctantly, perhaps, but yeah. That's I like too. If folks are into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there we are. That is we are here in a small secluded community. We're in an isolated part.
I make a suggestion that the community is on an island. Are folks cool with that?
I love that.
Sure.
That is so cool.
In the sense that everything takes place on this island.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We have to get there by ferry, like
mhm.
a bit of a way by ferry.
Yeah,
In,
it like
in
comes
that
like once
case,
a day.
I would like to
Maine. Sorry.
I'd like to
Yeah.
reset our location to we're off the East Coast,
Mhm.
one of these northern isolated town. So if we've seen Midnight Mass
Yeah.
from Netflix or Perfect Storm, the
Mhm.
Stephen King one, you know, that it took you a while to get out here, and it is a large, sprawling place
Mhm.
there. All right, so that is where we are. So all of you have arrived here. You know each other, various connections. Some you may know a little secondhand, distantly, but you've come out here to do this. Uh, Let me put this to Don before I ask the arrival question. Uh, what was the local legend? Was it a ghost, a UFO sighting, some kind of other haunting, a monster? What do you think is this? It may not be exactly what we see later, but what do you think the story was that drew you to come here?
If it's happening on an island, then I think that perhaps like there's like local legends about perhaps like mermaids or like
Mhm.
various like sea monsters that like around the waters of the island.
Perfect.
And yeah, and Lucas comes here to basically just do what he always does, the research around the area, interview people, and basically just, as always, a debug it.
Excellent. Yeah, so like a little bit about mermaids. They appear, come in off from the ocean at certain times of the year. Maybe there said to be some bodies of water on the island where these things migrate to. Uh, Sightings of sea monsters, things moving in the depths. So, uh, let me start with this. Mads, when we start out, where is everyone right now? Where is the group? You've arrived via boat at this isolated community. Uh, where are you? Are you in the town? Are we out in a sort of nearby marshy area? Are we in the woods? Where are we?
We've just come off of the ferry. I mean, like I think that the whole ferry trip and it takes a bit, like 45 minutes to an hour at least to get from the coast to this island. And I think it was already kind of cloudy and stormy looking when we came in. And I think the ferry driver was saying it's like, can't what is it, dock or whatever, like if there's a nor'easter.
Mhm.
So it's like, whatever you're planning on doing, it's like, you need to make sure that you like book your hotel or the inn or whatever to make sure you get out of the storm in case it happens, you know? So
And I think that one of the things have been maybe there was some kind of Airbnb setup that has now turned out to be, since you got here, a scam.
Hmm.
That there's supposed to be, but
Of course.
there's no street named the place. Whatever picture you got of the location you were supposed to stay at, clearly not here. You know, uh, 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 let me ask uh and it's gonna take me a bit to get people's names. Stewart, uh, what is making you feel anxious right now, and who knows about that?
Hmm. Uh, I don't like the water. I can't swim, and being out here like by the ocean in general just makes me real nervous. I'm feeling stuck, and I think it's got to be uh, Emma probably knows about that the most.
Wait, I've been irritating you?
No, no, this is the feeling anxious.
Yeah,
Okay. Got it.
no, Luke is irritating me.
So yeah, do you think have we like seen you stay away from the edge when we
On the
came over on the
ferry,
ferry?
yeah,
Kind of,
like I was like
or
inside the entire time, like staying like in the center of the boat as much as possible.
okay. Bella, uh, who has been irritating you the most since you got here, and what is it that they're doing?
Okay. Let's see. Um, I'm thinking maybe it has been who's kind of in charge of this expedition? I'm thinking maybe someone is being a little bit more controlling than I would like for them to be. Do we have anyone who is sort of organizing this or who is responsible for kind of directing us around?
I would think it would be Luke, but that's just, you know.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead,
Perhaps,
Luke.
perhaps we are gonna establish that we're here to research local legends. So I'm thinking perhaps like Luke came here for local legends. He brought Bella along because Bella knows the area. So perhaps those two came together, and Stuart and Emma came for another reason, and we just kind of met up on the ferry and decided, okay, why don't we stick
Hmm.
together? Perhaps we can do something like that.
Yeah, that works for me. But I'm gonna start off a little bit irritable with Luke then.
Okay. And Luke, why do you kind of keep falling behind as you're kind of you arrive walking to the town? What is it that is having you fall back from the others?
Luke's probably carrying around like some equipment that he uses like in recording the yeah, like some camera equipment and general uh like that's what you would bring for like a mermaid expedition, but like like this ghost hunting equipment and tools you often see like in movies. So he's getting that, they're wearing him down a bit, but he's also just like looking around at various places and like imagining in his head, can I place a camera there and like get a good shot of additionally just like slowing him down. He's just taking the scenes and seeing like where he could shoot.
Excellent. Uh, uh, Come back to Emma. Uh, what specific thing happened on the way here that set you on edge, Emma?
I think like Stuart was like trying to huddle in the middle of the boat. So she tried to, make him feel better by like saying to him, it's like, you're not going to feel any movement. Like, you don't have to look at the water. Just stay right here. And then she goes to the edge, to the bow to look to where we're going to be going. And I think what was weird was she was talking with the ferry driver, and he was telling him about, like, the signs of the nor'easter, and she was looking at not only the horizon with the clouds coming in, but then she was also seeing the sea, and it was starting to look choppy. But what looked really weird was the fact that in patches, the sea was completely calm.
Hmm. Nice. Stuart, who do you think knew that something was going to go wrong, and why do you think that?
Mm. I'm gonna go with Luke. Knew something was gonna be wrong. And I think it's because of, I mean, that's exactly what like um uh, is, yeah. What like his job's like, I don't think he would have come out here if everything was gonna be cool. Like there's a reason he came out at this time because it was the right time for the sirens or the mermaids or whatever to show up, or there's some sign that like this is the bad time, so let's go now. And maybe he didn't tell folks about that.
Okay. Uh, Bella, what was your first hint that something wasn't right when you got here? Besides the Airbnb scam, what else drew your attention?
Um, um, Now, is this a community with kind of other buildings?
I assume we've got some buildings here at the community. They've got to have like a little town, a lot of places boarded up, few places with lights, uh, maybe a church that is weirdly, door open, flapping in the wind, um, uh, that kind of thing.
Okay. Um, they're not like all over the island, but if you're just kind of exploring the island, maybe every 20 to 30 minutes, there's a statue that someone's left. And they've all got some kind of theme about them. Maybe every statue has a figure who only has four fingers on their hand, or every statue is wearing a blindfold, or they've all got a quirk.
Were these present when you were here before?
Oh, yes, I'm gonna say yes so that I can reference them
Okay,
in any of my pick list spin a tail questions.
absolutely. And then, uh, Luke, who are you amongst the group looking to for guidance, and why are you kind of relying on them?
For the look, that will probably have to be Bella, because Bella has been on this island before, spent some time, probably knows the local area, perhaps knows a few people, perhaps not. So he's really looking to her to kind of like uh, guide him, like what's a good place to go, and if any trouble arises for any reason, that she might know how to deal with it because she's been here before.
Perfect,
And
perfect. Yeah.
in that sense, I also think perhaps to also kind of like add to the whole irritating you that the answered, perhaps maybe like anti-ferry to the island because Luke knew that Bella was spent some time on this island. He probably also like pestered her to do like an interview uh, for like the show, because he's a ghost and like he has to like got evidence, like he's been passing about the interview about the island and the local legends.
Nice. All right. So we are here. We are in this community. A few houses, a lot of places boarded up, empty church, statues around. The ferry isn't back until tomorrow, and even then, they said if the weather's bad, it'll be another day or two. And so something has just gone wrong. You look at that list there under setup. There are a few that work. I think 3 perhaps and 4 may not. But like 1 and 2, 5 and 6 seem like they fit with what we've established. Anyone have a strong, again, I hate to throw this open to the table, but it's kind of a group thought. Anyone have a strong feeling on any of those?
I just rolled and got a 6. I think a dead body is a great thing to kick off.
Okay.
I'm up for whatever.
Let's do that then.
Nice. Oh my God.
So,
Oh,
a dead body you have found. Uh, uh, Emma, where did you find this body?
I think when we were looking for realizing that that talking to the ferry driver that the Airbnb was a complete and utter scam. Um, then like, she's looking around for, an inn or a hotel or something. And I think that's where, like in an alleyway next to what would be the hotel, that's where we find the body.
Okay. Uh, uh, and Luke, what awful thing has been done to this body? Without going into graphic gore, like what is it that has happened here? You are muted.
I think perhaps for the body that perhaps the body was found like in that place, but it wasn't together. It was like separated into different pieces, but not like thrown about and they just thrown on the wheel, but like neatly organized.
Uh, Neatly organized. And Bella, how do you know this person?
Oh dear.
Mm.
Um, it's the person I was asking Luke about, the person I was thinking of seeing all the images of. Um, yeah, maybe I'll retcon it and said that they had gone missing, and I suspected they were dead because I was seeing these spectral images of them, and my God, now they're here.
Okay, perfect. And then last question before something terrible happens. What is the mystery that you need to solve? I would say that we've already potentially established number 1 as the mystery. If people are interested in leaning into that, or we can have that as an additional detail and pick one of the other ones.
I mean, like 2 and 6 just seem to play more into number 1. So, I mean, like, anyway, I mean, however you guys want to do it.
Yeah.
2 or 6, with these strange idols. Uh, let's do 2 because I love that kind of thing. And uh, may I suggest that there is a singing, not a great singing, not a it flows sometimes into a brief melody, but there's more of a discordant note to it, and not like Schoenberg 10 tone or something like that. There's no human sense to it, and it comes through your phones sometimes. Like any of the devices you have that have mics, it will sputter in for a moment, give a brief passage, and then fade out again. And you still can't tell, is that a voice? Is that an instrument? You're not sure what it is. And I think that like you've had the shock of seeing this dead body, and I think that as you do and hearing this sparking sound, I think that at first you think it's a cloud going over the sun, like it's been slightly overcast, but it gets dark, like cloud dark, like heavy fog. It's not raining yet. It's just that it gets like that kind of twilight dark here, even though we're in mid-afternoon. And the temperature drops such that now you can see your breath there as you are standing by this body with these sounds coming through. And that is where we're going to start after our break. We're going to take 10 for our first break, and then we will come back and go into Act 2.
Awesome.
So you hear it's dark, it's cold, it's afternoon. You've had a chance to kind of briefly walk around the community, and now you're standing in this alley with this body, and these sounds coming through. Stuart, what do you do?
Get real quiet and take out the cigarettes I've been trying not to smoke. And not like take a few steps back. Just be like, this is, I did not sign up for this.
Do you have are you using like a Bic lighter? Do you have a Zippo?
I have a
Like,
Zippo.
okay,
Yeah.
so there's
Do the like yeah.
that smell of the alcohol from it kind of
Butane.
comes up,
Yeah.
and in the cold it really goes into your nostrils, and that first drag, you forgot how good these are, and then your throat starts to congeal a little.
Mhm.
That first smoke after you haven't smoked for a long time,
Yeah.
delicious and painful at the same time, he said as a former smoker. So uh, uh, Bella, what do you do? See Stuart stumble back a couple of feet.
I've kind of fallen to my knees and am barely keeping it together. Like I've pulled out my phone. I vaguely remember that I'm trying to maybe call for help, but then I glance at my phone and completely forget what I'm doing. And it's probably not that I probably don't really have cell service in the first place.
There's that
Yeah.
ghost flicker of the signal bar, that moment where it keeps going in and out, I think at the bottom of your phone. Yeah. You're just trying, are you like trying to keep yourself together? What was this person's name?
Sam.
Sam. Male or female? Or
Let's
other?
well, let's say female.
Yeah.
Maybe they were a good friend of mine, to the extent that we were allowed to have friends at the compound.
How long ago were you here?
Oh, 13, 14 years.
That long ago. Uh, how old were you when you came here, and how old are you now?
I was thinking maybe 16. Now I'm pushing 30.
Okay, so you're probably the oldest person amongst the group, kind of. Okay.
If that works, I wasn't sure what
Yeah,
everyone
we've
else
kind of
was thinking.
established the
Yeah.
college age for folks, so I just want to.
Oh, well, I mean, if that's the case, I can maybe put myself down to like 24 and say it's made maybe 8 years,
Okay,
if that works. Yeah.
absolutely.
I want to be close to Stewart age-wise.
Yeah. Uh, does she look 24?
Probably look a little bit older. A little bit older.
No, I mean Sam's body.
Oh no. Um, um, no, it's just the way it was when I last saw her.
Just the way that you remember her. Luke, you've got your gear out. You've stumbled on this. What are you doing?
I think Luke will have like the sensibility not to record the dead body. He just like put. If he doesn't even have like the camera out at this moment, he'll probably just like look around, see if he can like see anyone like in this small town that's around, and possibly like just call for help.
I think that might be a scout roll to see, establish if you see anyone. So let's walk through the rolling procedure. You get one die, and then it looks like you've got one die in scout. So you'd be rolling two dice. Uh, there are some ways that you can get some more dice. You can spin a story. Someone can help you. You can push yourself. Does two dice feel good, or
I'm gonna go with just two dice at the
yeah,
moment.
you're
Just
about to learn what the odds are like in Forge in the Dark. I think this is perfect. So you can roll 2d6. We've got the roller. There's a link to that in the thing.
I
So
got a 10.
oh, look at that. You got so your highest of the two dice is a 6, which is exactly what you want. I think that you will look and call out, and you will see a figure uh, bundled up, uh, like maybe you all it was sort of like light jacket weather, but you'll see this figure bundled up, moving between two of these buildings, gloves on, scarf around their mouth, like cap on their head, and you call out, and they stop, and they don't come towards you, but they stand there and kind of stare at you. Emma, you'll see this. What are you doing?
She was she was pulling out her phone and was making to call, but then that strange signal came through and it just kind of like buzzed through all of our phones.
Yeah.
And then I think she sees the figure and then she will approach saying, it's like, "Hello? Uh, can you help us? Do you know where there's police or something? I mean, there's a body here."
Who are you?
We're we're researchers. Like looking back at Luke. Uh, we we're trying to find uh the hotel, the Airbnb, and that was a mess, but like now we're trying to find police to check out this body that we found.
Ain't nobody supposed to be on the island these times.
We're okay. Just can you tell us where there's cops just so we can do something about this person?
And you see him point out to the ocean. Mainland is cops.
Okay. Okay. All right. Is there any place to stay here? We're here. We're stuck here until morning. I mean,
You can always take shelter in the church.
Okay.
I don't think the pastor would mind.
Okay. No hotel then. Got it. Got it. And she starts to slowly back away because this individual's like weird.
Like he hasn't even heard what you've said about the body. Like he doesn't even acknowledge what you've said, doesn't register it. He'll kind of look you back away. He looks at the four of you, see him kind of shake his head and continue on his path through the town.
The fuck?
People
Stuart,
around here always this cool about dead bodies. What's
Yeah, right?
I mean, we can't just leave them here, right?
No. No. I mean,
Or
I think the thing that's interesting is there's no blood.
do we see anything? Can I don't know, do a study or something? Like, I mean, not, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, I think study is a good role to make here to examine things. So we've got one die
Yep.
face and one die for study under your wits there.
Yep.
Are you good with that?
Let's see. The other one is for bonus dice to spin a story, yeah?
I can
Spin a
help out
story,
myself?
too.
push yourself.
if you
Steward's
want.
going to help. So Steward
Okay.
marks a fear
Okay. All right.
and gives you an extra die. That's 3 dice.
Okay. And then I could conceivably spin a story too. Let me
Yes,
see.
mechanically, yes.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Um. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take an extra die for a spin the story,
Okay.
and the one that I'm gonna take is the unexplained thing in the footage of the documentary crew that went missing, because I think she's gonna look at this and then like kind of flash over to maybe an article or a story that Luke's family had researched at one point, talking about a specific documentary crew that had gone missing, investigating a particular story, a legend, and bodies like this were found.
Mm.
Completely bloodless, but split. Yeah. So.
Was that found here? Was it the footage, the thing you seen on this island or a different island? What's the
Yeah, I mean, like the unexplained thing was the fact that it was said to be from a different place altogether, but the positioning, the the landscape that they showed in the documentary were of these buildings completely intact.
uh let's have you roll
For
4 dice.
that, 6, 2 sixes.
2 sixes. So we don't exactly have a critical success except on resistance rolls for this.
Right.
But the body looks like it's been preserved in some way. It has like that maybe not frozen, but something like that. Uh, and the cuts are clean. Uh, and here's the weird thing. If you didn't know better, just given the position of the body, the way it's fallen here, it's almost like someone was running and then fell apart. The way that the leg is positioned, the hands, the head, I think it looks like that to you.
And she's watched enough running videos for CrossFit that she knows what the biomechanic stuff looks like.
Yeah. What do you say? And Stuart, how do you put this all also together since you're helping?
It's like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, but like for real. It runs through like a cheese grater or something.
What the hell
Are
could
we sure? Are we? Is it like a person or someone fucking with us?
I mean, it's it's grisly, but I mean it's perfect. No blood. Pieces like just falling apart. Almost like, I don't know, an action figure. And
Yeah.
oh my god. But no cops. No cops here. No, didn't even seem concerned. I wasn't gonna go near her. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
What should we do? We have to get shelter soon. Like this, whatever's gonna happen is gonna be happening very, very soon. It's like probably almost midnight dark right now.
And the guy said something about the priest in there, right? So maybe he'd know what to do.
I'd like to ask a question, Lowell.
Sure.
Um, the body, uh, is it wearing the same clothes that I remember her wearing when we were roommates?
That's a really interesting question here.
Yeah. I mean, regardless of the answer, I'm about to start yelling at everyone. Um, but that's just a detail I'd like to know before I begin.
Yeah, I think it is the exact same uniform that you had to wear
Of
when you
course
were
there were
here.
uniforms. Of course there were
Yeah,
uniforms. Yeah.
the
Okay.
unisex, kind of outfit.
Right. Right. Um, so as people are sort of talking and contriving about what to do, I'm going to suddenly stand up, almost pop up from my crouching position next to the body, and I'm going to shout, "Is nobody seeing the obvious here? Look at what she's wearing. Look at how old she is. I know her, but she shouldn't be this young. That outfit shouldn't be here.
What are you talking about, Bella?
That's my old roommate from when I lived on this island. That's her. But I haven't lived here, and that school hasn't been here for at least 6, 7 years.
And she looks the same?
That is her.
Luke, our skeptic, what's your reaction to this?
Looks a bit taken aback through all his years of going around and debunking all of these stories. He's never actually like stumbled upon an actual like a dead body before. Like any like bodies, any like he saw was like in old pictures. So this is like his first time actually near the body, and he's just struggling to process at the moment about like what's just happened. Did he accidentally get the group uh, rolled up into something much bigger than he initially thought? And we're gonna go. I'm sure there's a logical explanation to all of this. At the moment, I think we do need to go to the church, to the pastor, find someone, anyone that knows what we could do with the body. Because I don't know about you guys, but I have no idea what to do with it.
That's fine. I mean, the first thing we really need to do is get shelter. Maybe this priest, maybe he'll know what we can do. At least to wait out the storm too. So, I mean, yeah. I think Emma's just gonna get up and kind of gesture for us to go to this church.
Do you like put something? Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't think we have like a tarp or anything like that, but I mean, I think Emma's got a scarf in her bag. I mean, would this help, Bella?
What's that for?
Just cover the body, you know? Just
Um, I'm just going to start crying into Steward. And you can make a call about what you want to do with the scarf.
Emma, I think the scarf is probably just big enough to cover her face.
and that's what she does. And then she kind of like, gestures to Luke. It's like start to go and you know.
Town is still quiet. That figure that walked through, like you look as you cross the main street, really the only street in this town. Uh, it does go further on into the island, so it must go somewhere. Uh, I think Bella, you will remember that the road does go in and like splits. You remember there was a side road for the camp, but you'll walk to the towards the church. Uh, Luke, what is nailed to the walls of the church?
What is there to the outside walls?
Yeah,
I think that perhaps on the church you have like a lot of like crosses, like just nailed into it at the sides, but perhaps not all of them, but like most of them, like perhaps still like upside down. Now, were they nailed upside down, or did someone just rotate them, or they already nailed? Is up
absolutely.
to discretion, but just like a row of crosses nailed to the walls or the like front door.
And there are a variety of crosses, like clearly like large crosses you would have in your home, but also ones that have been made of rough wood. Some of them tied together driftwood. Uh, and the four of you will walk into this church. It is really a big room. There are just a few benches here. There is a lectern up front, and there's a table with a variety of candles that have melted down, lots of candles to make that kind of pile of wax that has formed there. But there is a candle burning there. And uh, Stuart, uh, you will see as you kind of come in, uh, out of the corner of your eye, uh, seated in the corner, is old woman, man, you're not sure, who appears to be asleep there, seated. They're very, very still.
Kind of go get close to them, not touching them, but be like, hey, we're looking for the the priest or someone here. We need some help. Uh, hello, you're awake?
Woman's eyes come open. She'll look at you.
Hey, is there anyone here who can help out? We found we need some help.
She pushes herself to her feet. Uh, it gets in real close. Like, and you can smell her breath, like menthol, alcohol, like all of that coming through. And she starts to reach out for you.
We just need some help. Are you okay? Do you need help?
And she keeps, like, she moves forward. She's clearly trying to put her hand on you.
Yeah, I don't. Please don't touch your man. Can if you can't help us, can you point us in the right direction? What? Pull and like I pull my collar down. What's going on? I don't have any hickeys or anything. It's Can you not speak? That's okay.
She opens her mouth and you don't see a tongue.
Oh shit. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you could just point us in the right direction.
I think in this situation, Luke would like take out like his notebook and just like go to uh like uh hand over like the notebook and like a pen to the woman if she wants to.
Hmm.
You start to do that, and you see her hold up her hands, and you can see that arthritic grip, that crab claw of that. And she will shake her head. And she will kind of walk away from you and goes over to the main door as you are all standing there, and with some effort uh, pulls that door shut. And then looks back at all of you. And then her eyes rest on Bella.
I'm glaring. What?
Bella, do you know her?
Um, do I?
Gosh, this seems like a fortune roll. Roll me 2 dice.
Okay. 3 is high.
You don't recognize her.
I don't think I've seen her. Old enough that maybe she would have been here when I was, but no.
I think as you are there, you will start to hear the wind pick up and start howling outside. Uh, the the building kind of starts to shiver. You'll actually hear this weird clanging as those various crosses get kind of picked up by the wind and banged against the side of this building. Uh, and the kind of screech of the wind through the town, through the various pieces, has a very weird, discordant note to it, not unlike the sounds that have been coming through your phones. And you will see her look up like she's now kind of scared.
think I'll just call out, like if there's anyone else here, like, hello, we're looking for someone, the preacher or the priest, anyone here?
And you will hear on the front door. And the woman turns and her eyes get wide and she will begin shuffling towards the back of the church. Luke?
Luke would approach the door and go to open it.
Look, what the
But
fuck are you doing?
What do you mean what I'm doing?
The storm is out there.
Yeah, and obviously there's someone out there that got caught up in it and wants to take shelter like us in the church.
Son bitch. Are there windows in this, like around the double doors or anything like that?
I think they're so dirtied and muddied from wind and stuff that
Can't see.
at most you can see a silhouette that there is a figure at that door.
Is it a human shaped and sized silhouette? That's my question.
Vaguely, yeah.
Fuck. All right. All right.
That'll be just a coat and a hat.
Okay.
Luke is going to open the door unless anyone does something.
I back up
won't,
with the
no.
woman. Yeah.
I'm gonna stay put kind of in the middle of the room between Stuart and the woman and Luke.
I will stand behind Luke to be ready to slam that door shut if, he gets somebody in or we have to keep something out. So
You will open the door and you will see this tall, thin figure, gaunt. There is a cassock, a priest's robe, a sort of oddly archaic, goes down to the down to his feet. He has a high collar, with the priest collar on it. He's wearing gloves against the cold. And he has very, very gray eyes. That kind of gray that like sort of blends in with the whites of his eyes. And he will say, I was told that we have guests.
Yeah, to be us. You came at perfect time. We were just looking for you. We're a bit of a pickle, and we need some advice on what we can do about it on this island. Like, there's no authoritative to what I can tell here.
Absolutely. Well, why don't you invite me in and I'll be able to help you out.
Invite you in
Yeah.
like a vampire, you mean?
Like politeness.
Stuart, you cannot just call all
I mean,
those gentlemen vampires.
She checked for my neck stuff, man. I've seen movies.
You see what you just said? Movies. Fiction. This is real life.
Hey, but buddy, if you can come in by yourself, do that. But I'm not inviting you in.
Louis, just gonna say, I apologize for the rudeness. Yeah, just come in. After this is your church.
Bro!
oh shit. Once he comes in, it's like, Emma's gonna put her back against the door and just slam it shut, to keep out the wind and the storm.
You came at a time where the wind has come up quite a bit here.
Yeah, evidently.
Young man, please don't smoke in the church.
I'm sorry, it's just I'm real nervous around here. Yeah, flick it on the floor and stomp it out.
She looks at you. That's rude.
There's a dead body not far from here.
Yeah. More important.
A dead body, you say? Where?
I'll give the general direction and location.
It was next to the it was in the alley next to the hotel that we apparently can't stay in.
There's no place to really bed down for the night here. Uh, maybe some of you could show me where this body is so I can see if it's someone that we know. Can't imagine it's a stranger like yourselves. Maybe a local? Now I'm very, very worried.
Someone who used to go to school here.
There's no school here. Everyone is homeschooled.
How long have you lived here?
A very long time.
So you know about the school that used to be here?
Well, I wouldn't call that a school, would you?
No, that's what they called it. But they're dressed in its uniform.
That hasn't been here for a long time. How do you recognize it?
You used to go to school here.
I see. So you already have the touch of this place upon you.
Bella, what the hell is he talking about?
Maybe one or two of you want to come with me and show me the body.
Will this church be okay? I mean, we'd want to come back here to take shelter. I mean,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not going anywhere.
all right, I'll go. I mean, I remember where it is.
Yeah, I'm willing to as well.
Stuart, Luke, I think you both of you kind of, as they volunteer, you look around, realize you don't see that woman anymore.
I think I'm gonna stay behind. We really
Yeah.
need all of us just to show. Like, if you need help getting the body back, you just run back here and I'll go back and help. But everybody was in
I'm sure these two,
bite-sized chunks.
I'm sure these two strong ladies can carry a body. They look fit. Why don't you two come with me and show me where this is at? And he will push open the door very easily, despite the wind, and he'll gesture for you to go outside.
Uh, with a last look at hopefully not last, but with a last look at Stuart and Luke, Emma will just kind of, you know, just give him a, all right.
And the two of you will go and start to walk a little ways. We'll come back to you two in a moment, Bella and Emma. Stuart, Luke, what are you doing?
As soon as the door closes, I yell at Luke, "Why did you invite him in?"
What do you mean I wanted him in? He's the pastor of this church.
Then he should have
Uh,
just come in, man. Don't you think that
Yeah.
was weird?
Not particularly. Like, this is like a small community in the middle of nowhere. Of course, people are going to be weird. I don't like churches any better than the next person. They're
I
basically
don't light up
like
another
once
cigarette.
you're basically just government sanctioned conspiracy theorist.
Sure,
But
man.
but what are you gonna do? Tell the priest of this church, oh no, you cannot come in.
I mean, if he is the priest of the church, he should have just walked in like he owned the place, right?
He wanted to be polite. He had guests.
Mm,
Anyhow, where did that woman go?
all right, but if like someone starts turning into a werewolf, shoot them with a silver bullet, all right, or whatever happens in movies, do that, please, next time. That your attitude worries me, dude.
My attitude. You're just suggesting we just shoot someone.
If they turn into a wolf, yeah, sure.
Do you even bring a gun?
I don't.
Like,
I'm not allowed to have a gun. No.
exactly. Who here has a weapon even?
said you were looking for this woman? Is that what I heard
Yeah.
before?
Yeah, Luke could start looking for the woman because she obviously, if nothing else, just to see like what her deal is, because she was in here and now she's gone. He's curious, like where she went.
I think this is a study roll.
Let's check my study.
You've got 2 in study, plus a base dice. So you're rolling 3 dice.
Okay. Highest is 2.
Highest is a 2. So I think that you will walk back and you're looking around, and you will see that sort of behind where the priest lectern is, there's actually like a door cut in the floor. You see a little handle there. And I think when you see that, you will go to lift it up. And when you do, you'll hear this snick. And this blade has popped out and gone right through the palm of your hand.
Yikes.
So that will be a level 1 harm. So because we're just trying this mechanic. Now, Dom, here's how the mechanics work for this. You can try and resist that happening. Essentially, you get to choose one of your sort of areas, nerve, wits, or luck, and resist it. You roll a die. It gets subtracted from 6, and that's how much fear you take, but you don't have this knife through your hand. So you have a choice whether you want to mark some more fear potentially, or have this wound on your harm track.
Yeah, let's go with the resist.
Okay. I'm even going to be generous here, and I'm going to let you roll your wits to spot this and resist this. So roll me 3d6, because if you look under wits, you have those 3 first dice marked. Okay.
Highest is a 5.
So you just mark 1 fear as you pull back away and drop that trapdoor, as this knife thing sprung out at you. Like clearly somebody set a trap there on this trap door. Stuart, what do you do?
Rush forward and see if there's anything I can like wrap his hand with.
That looks like it missed him just barely,
missed
though.
him.
Maybe
Yeah.
just
Oh,
nicked.
damn, man. Be careful. Places like go to like check out the trapdoor, like see like it, like was this like built into the church? Like did someone like rig this up?
Okay. Let's have you roll study for that.
Yeah. I got pretty good study. Let's
Yeah.
take the 2 dice for that.
3 dice.
3 dice, that's right. Yeah. Double 6.
So it looks like, yeah, this is probably built into the church, like to maybe a little a sub basement kind of thing. It looks like a natural feature of it. But it's definitely like as you kind of pull on it, it definitely had a little trap set on it.
Is there any way I could pull it out, like dislodge the knife from the trap or the blade, whatever it is, to Just to have.
Yeah, I think with a critical, I think you can the trap has already been fired
Mhm.
off. So I think it's no problem for you to kind of reach and pull and take that knife there.
Yeah. I was like pick it up and wave it at, not wave it at, but like show it to Luke and be like, okay, after you.
Of course, the church would want people going down into the basement.
Of course. Yeah. It's very polite to stab people who are poking around.
We'll come
Yeah,
back.
Luke,
We'll go
put
on.
on.
We'll come back to the two of you in just a moment. Emma, Bella, you will walk with the pastor, and he will walk and he will say, so what are your names? Just for future reference.
I'm Bella.
Emma kind of just looks at him and just says, "You can call me Gray."
Right. That's an unusual name. I'm Father Nemo, like the cartoon, the child.
You mean the fish?
What fish?
Never mind. It's okay.
And you will come over to the alley, and there is no body there. There is your scarf, like caught on a nail, flapping in the wind.
Shit. It was right here. The pieces, they were right here. I covered her face with this scarf of mine. She was right here. Bella.
Turns to you, Bella. Well, maybe someone from the town came across the body and picked it up. In that case, let's walk a little further. They might have gone to the old town building. Why don't you two come with me and we'll see if it got taken there.
Aren't you concerned about the storm getting worse, sir? I mean,
Oh, when you've lived here as long as I have, you get to know the storm. I've got nothing to worry about. Why don't you two just come with me?
Emma will keep her eyes on the priest and like slowly grab her scarf without even like looking at it, just to pull it off of wherever it's blowing, and then kind of say, "Yeah, sure. Just want to make sure that um, the body is not blown away somewhere." I mean,
That'd be a hell of a gust, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Bella, what are you doing? What are you saying as he's pointing to further outside of town away from the church and your friends for you
I'm
to go with
I'm
him?
I'm willing to go. If Emma comes with, I don't know if this is strictly rules as written, but I would like to spin a story at some point just so that I have that
Yeah.
for a die. I don't know if you can
Do you
preemptively
want to
spend
do
stories and
well?
then spend a die roll later, but
Uh, 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 are you like trying to check out the priest? Are you trying to check out the area? I mean, that's certainly a die roll here.
well, yeah, I'm happy to see, well, the beauty of it is that I think I have no points in anything related to noticing strange things. Wits, no, nothing.
Certainly, that's why I'm
That
suggesting you that you
could
roll
be
it.
useful. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Fortune roll? I don't, I mean, I don't know if that would help. Oh, and I like after Bella does her roll, I would like to do a scavenge because she ain't trusting this priest all the way. I mean, like she's gonna look for some items to like use as to put together a weapon, you know, something.
So
mhm.
Bella, do you want to make that roll? Do you want to spin a
Y-
tail and add a die?
Yeah,
That would give you
let's
two dice.
yeah, let's do that. I guess if I have to name what I'm looking for specifically, I'd like to get a read on kind of, if this were like a study move and powered by the apocalypse or Hearts
Yeah,
of Wulin or something, it would be kind of like, what's this person really getting at? Is the question that I'm asking here.
absolutely. So tell us the story you're going to spin.
So it's from the my own personal hell questions. It's
Okay.
gonna be the reason I was here before. It's kind of a mix of a couple, but we'll pick that one.
And
Um,
and the story, this is something you're whispering to Emma as you're walking along?
right as we were kind of going out to the alleyway, because Emma asked, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I owe Emma an explanation. So, as we're walking, this has maybe happened a little earlier in the story before we got to the alley. I basically say to Emma, back when I was 16, 17, I was sent out here. There was a school. It was kind of like they basically called it a therapeutic boarding school, but it was nothing like that. It was more or less just a abuse camp for teens whose parents were abusive assholes or didn't know what else to do with them. And I was here for about 9 months. Um, think of the worst shit you've ever heard of in those kinds of schools, and that's pretty much what it was. Um, but here's the weird thing. They really made a point in their materials about how hard it was to get away. Now you'll remember there's no cops on this island.
Yeah.
So what they would always tell us is that instead of sending the cops after us, they had made a deal with someone on the island who they just said was a hunter. Now, I've never seen much in the way of big game out here, but they said they had a hunter on the island who'd come and bring us back if we ever tried to get away. And here's the weird thing. Me and Sam, we had a plan to escape one day. That alleyway was right on the route. We never carried out the plan, but that's exactly the way that we would have gone if we ever tried to run.
Did it need both of you to do it?
Yeah, it was complicated.
Shit. Did she try it herself, you think? By herself?
I don't know. She reportedly had been expelled.
Bella. I don't know if that means something different from the usual definition. I'm so sorry.
Let's have you both mark one fear
Yep.
as the story thing. And Bella, you can roll two dice. Now, if Emma wants to help, Emma could mark another fear and give you another die.
Yeah, I will. I mean, especially after hearing that story for sure. I
Yeah,
mean, like,
yeah,
she's,
mark another fear.
yeah.
I mean, you're losing money not spending it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Go for it.
Bella, roll me three dice.
3 dice.
Third dice.
Five's high.
Okay.
So, Bella, as you're walking along here, now kind of trudging out from the alley and walking towards the thing, uh, you will see the priest at one point stumbles a little bit, and you see him stop and kind of bend down, and the foot that kind of got caught, you see him sort of kind of weirdly straighten it, and you see him as he stands back up. There is a moment where you see the sleeve has fallen down, and you see between the glove end of the glove and the sleeve, You see there is a line across his hand there.
Like on his
Like,
hand or
no,
on his like wrist.
all the way around his wrist.
Oh, it's
Like,
circular.
yeah, like just about the same sort of cut line as was on Sam.
Yeah.
And then
Can
he
I?
kind of tugs his sleeve back down. I think I want, you can either mark harm or you can take a minor consequence. The minor consequence would be he notices you noticing him. Now you could resist either one. Which would you like?
Now, resistance, one more time, that is where you kind of re-roll some stuff.
So basically, if you say you're resisting, it doesn't happen. Like that's bottom line. But we just see how much fear you mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will take the minor consequence and say
Okay.
that he's got his eye on me.
He looks back at you, smiles, keeps walking. And Emma, you wanted to scavenge.
Hell yeah.
So that's one die
Yep.
plus another die. So that's two dice.
Yep.
Are you happy with two dice?
Oh, I'm never happy with that. I like odds. Let's see. I don't know if
So
Bella knows about my penchant for like trying to collect shit to put things together, but ooh, I think as we are, I'm gonna pick spin a story. That's
okay.
okay. And the story I'm picking is like the sound you never want to hear in the dead of night. And I think as we are out here and she's getting suspicious, and so she's starting to look around, pull some things, like trying to figure out how to put them together to just kind of create a makeshift something or other, just in case they have to get away, or take out the priest. She hears in the howl of the wind, she hears what sounds like, it sounds like a screech of a predator, but like not in the same sense as like you would hear like a wolf howl, or like like a big like falcon or something like that, that would make a screech. This is a screech that sounds like it's layered sounds coming from multiple throats on the wind, and it sucks.
Perfect.
Blah. So that's three, right?
Yeah.
Give me everything, please. Okay. Oh, gods. Three.
Three is your highest.
Yes.
So I think you will see a like piece of fencing, nice, good heft with a couple of nails on it. Uh, and I think that you will bend down to pick that up, like kind of grab under it. And the priest is faster than you would have expected because he brings his foot down on that, and you will feel the crack as he breaks your fingers underneath the board there. So
Resist.
that is a level 2 harm. So you can resist to take that to a level 1 if you want.
Yes. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. This would be. I want to use. Sorry.
I'm good with nerve or luck.
I'm gonna do luck because
Yeah.
I have enough dice in that.
Yeah.
So
Because you rolled scavenge for this. So I think it's fair to resist with that.
for sure. All right. I wish I paid attention to the dice that betrayed me. All right. Great.
They will return to betray you again.
That is a 5.
5. So
Two
mark
harms.
one fear,
Okay.
but it does crunch your fingers and it hurts. And he
Fuck.
says, "This is a peaceable place. There's no need for that."
I'm an engineer. Sometimes I just pick up stuff. Damn.
And he's still standing there with his like foot on the board. Looks at the two of you. Shall we continue on?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go find your friend. It was your body, shall we? And he will continue walking towards this like little town hall that's weirdly offset from the rest of the town. You have to kind of walk down a little bit of slope. You'll see a couple of those statues as the two of you are walking and you're heading that way. Let's come back to Stuart and Luke. You've got this open, and you can look down, and it looks like there's a little basement, a little cellar there. Uh, uh, there's not much light. There's maybe a candle in there.
Light it up. Zippo.
Zippo,
Use it for-
there's a little ladder to climb down into there.
Yeah.
Are you going down, Stuart?
I will follow Luke down if Luke is going.
Yeah. Yeah. Before Luke goes down there, he just looks around to see if there's like any other like hallways in the church, or is it just that one big room?
Yeah, I think so.
Didn't hear the trapdoor, so there's potential that the woman went into this hallways, but this trapdoor does entice me. So Luke's just going to like take out like a flashlight and then head down.
Okay. And you will step carefully down this ladder into this room, and you will see as you turn around, there are shelves. There are some empty jars, but there are also some full jars like canning, with vegetables, jam, that kind of thing. And you will see that there is someone curled up in the corner, covered in some kind of blanket.
Does it look like the woman?
No.
Hello?
And
Are you alright?
this figure will turn towards you, and you will see this face, a ragged, unkempt hair. The blanket is kind of pulled up over. The thing that strikes you is that there's a mismatch here. Like the top of their face doesn't quite match the bottom of their face. And it looks like there's like stitching along their cheeks. And the figure opens their mouth and this noise comes out. That song that you heard through your phones, through your walkie-talkies, like this dirge, this lament cries out at you. What do you do, Luke?
I probably covered his ears because it's really quite loud.
Yeah,
Click.
I think this actually might be the point at which I think I want you to make a hold roll. And I'll let one of you make it kind of for the both of you. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah, I've got hold. I can do that.
Okay.
So if I have one check, I roll 2 dice, right?
Yeah. Now, Luke,
Okay,
do you want to
cool.
try to assist to keep yourself steady here?
Yeah, I'll probably assist.
Mark of fear.
Mark of fear.
Look at that. 3 dice, steward.
3 dice seems reasonable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's just do 3 dice. That's a 6.
That's a 6. So like you take a step back, you kind of put your hand on Luke's shoulder, but
Mhm.
and it's loud in here, but you don't immediately, run back up that ladder.
Mhm.
And the figure just looks at you. It doesn't move towards you aggressively. It
Just
doesn't
listen.
do much of anything.
Yeah, that was unpleasant to say the least.
Is it still making the sound, or was it just
It'll kind of trail off, like making that sound exhausted it.
Okay, man. What the hell is that about? I say
don't
towards the
yeah,
creature.
don't tell it to talk again, man. That was bad.
Yeah, okay.
Is there anything else down here? Is it just like
It's a
living
storage area.
room?
There may be some like old Bibles,
Uh-huh.
food, water, down here, but
Mhm.
uh, very rare. There's the equivalent of a chamber pot down here.
Mhm. Uh, just nod. Are you being held down here against your will, man? You like it down? Is this your home? You like it down here? Are we disturbing you? Great, cool. Luke, let's give them their privacy.
They'll move, kind of shuffle a little bit towards you. And I think that's the point at which the blanket shifts and you see this tail emerge out from under the blanket. Looks like maybe a dolphin tail, but you've seen dolphins, and this doesn't look healthy. Like
Yeah.
it's gray, but sickly gray, this tail that kind of comes out. And I think just by the positioning of this figure, you realize that's their lower half.
If I will back up the ladder to the best of my ability.
Luke,
Luke will follow suit.
and it will start to sing again as the two of you run back up the ladder and get back up and
Close
slam
the
that
door.
shut.
Yeah, man, I don't think that knife was for us. I think that was to keep
No.
whatever that is down there.
Luke will gonna look around and see if there's anything like heavy nearby, like just
You.
try and
Yeah, you could
use
get
that
one of
down killer.
the benches. You
Mhm.
could they're the heavy old wooden benches. You could turn it over and put it on top of that.
Yeah, I will definitely
Yeah.
help with that.
Luke will, help me get this already done.
Already
So
on it, man. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
we probably need to go back down there, but for the moment, it's just keep whatever that is down there.
Yeah, they seemed happy down there, so I don't want to
Yeah.
interfere with their happiness. Where did our other friend go?
There is that hallway.
Uh, last time I went first, I almost got a knife to the head, so
Fine. Flick the zipper open and head down the hallway.
Okay.
you're using a zip and a flashlight here.
We will come back to the two of you in just a moment. Bella, Emma, you reach this building. You will see that it might have been a gathering place for the town when there were more people in the town, but certainly kind of fallen into bad shape. And the priest will open the door and gesture for you to go in. And he says, ladies first.
If you don't mind my asking, what happened to your hand, Father?
What do you mean?
Looks like he got caught or something.
Yes, I got caught or something.
No. Thank you. And I'll just step inside.
And you will come inside, and there is a like an office room here, like a reception room. And priest will follow in behind you and will say, "Is anyone here? Anyone here? I've brought some new friends." And you will hear some footsteps, and you will see the door to the back of this sort of building open, and you will see Sam step out into the reception area.
Bella. Bella, is that?
What are they are they in the same outfit as we found them before? And
No, they've kind of got like a fisherman sweater on and some jeans. Their feet are bare, though.
still teenager?
Yeah.
Sam?
Bella, what happened to you?
What happened to you?
You look different.
I look back at the father. What the hell is going on here?
Bella, is that the person?
Yes, that's them. Father, what the hell's going on here?
He says, "Why don't I let the maker explain? Let me call for him, and he will come." And he will turn back, and his head tilts up. And I think now that his head tilts back, the collar is down a little bit, and you can see the line across his neck there that matches the skull. And he will start to sing that song. And as soon as he does, you will see Sam lift her head and starts to sing that song. I would like both of you to roll hold if you want to stay here, or flee if you'd like to get the X out of Dodge.
Fuck. And I have more points in hold. God
I
dang
was
it.
gonna roll hold anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stay with you. I'm gonna stick with you. So I mean, I'll roll hold too. So
Okay, I think individually I want both of you to roll
that's
hold
fine. That's
for
fine.
this one. Let's start with Emma.
Yeah. So 1 die to start, 2 hold, so that's 3 already. We're not helping each other like hold. So I mean, push with 2 fear or spin a story. I mean, I'm just gonna spin something of my own invention.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, like, seeing this, it's just of like all the, excuse me, like all the Selkie type legends for some reason come into Emma's mind of like, skins being taken on to be able to be on land, and just seeing those seams just make her think of like what the hell is underneath, so close to the sea, but like, looking human but not.
I like it.
Yeah. So, hold on. Let me pull out another die. Oh God, I need this, please, please, please. Ah, that is a 6.
There's a 6. I think you hold yourself steady here as these cries go out, echoing, calling something. Uh, uh, Bella, let's have you roll hold.
Okay. I think I would maybe like to try to pull an extra die here as well.
Sure.
Um,
You've got 2 to start right now.
mhm. Um, and I don't know what I would have mentioned. I guess I would have mentioned this to Emma kind of as we were going from the alleyway to here, maybe. I'll say a reason I decided to come back. Um, and I'll say that at some point down the line, back when we still were going to school here, Sam and I buried kind of like a little time capsule box, where we had written letters, back and forth to each other because we weren't allowed to talk that much. We wrote some things about what was going on here in the hopes that eventually someone might find them and do something about it. And it's kind of important to me that I get this back. So
Perfect.
that's the real reason I'm back here.
So both of you mark a fear,
Okay.
but you get 3 dice then total.
Okay. Oh, for the love of God. All right.
I think
Oh,
Sam is suddenly up by you and has wrapped her hands around you and holds you in her arms. And I think has you held in place, and there's some pressure on you there. And she whispers and says, "This time you will stay with me and not abandon me."
Is
And
can I use if you don't see me again?
yes, you may.
Yeah, I mean, I think upon seeing that, I think like, this is where
She's like rushing forward to grab and like uh, 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 take Bella in an unpleasant embrace.
yeah, I think Emma will pretty much like, do a leap and shove her way in between the two. And like she's gonna yell. It's like, "Bella, run!"
So that feels like risk.
Yup.
Okay. Risk with an extra die. So right now we're looking at 3 dice.
Okay. I'm just gonna run with it because God. Ah, 5 and a 6.
5
Ah,
and a 6. So you get in the way and shove her back before she can grab onto Bella. Uh, Bella, what do you do when you see this happen?
Um, I mean, I was gonna punch Sam. Um, Now that being said, I'm kind of separated from
Yeah.
uh so
And
I'm
the priest
actually
is in the doorway.
I would like to
punch the priest.
punch him. Yeah, in that case.
Okay. Uh, then that feels like scrap.
Yes.
Okay.
And I specifically would like to punch him in the throat.
Okay.
mm.
Ooh.
So, scrap. So right now, as it stands, you're rolling 2 dice.
While I think it is mechanically the better option to keep spinning stories, there's no place here where I can really have the time and space to do that, I don't think.
Yeah.
And so I think I'll push myself for
Yeah.
2 fear.
Makes sense.
That puts me to 3 more dice, right? Or 3 dice total
Yeah.
for scrap. Okay, so we're rolling 3. 6.
So that is a 6. So I think that you will punch the priest hard, and like he staggers back and his hands go up as if he's trying to keep his head on
Oh.
after
Hmm.
that. Like he's trying to reset it. And this voice, a little bit off because his windpipe's sort of off, he says, "The maker was the last. There were no more. So he had to make more of his kind, and he will make you beautiful." And we're going to cut away from you two Stuart, Luke,
Mhm.
you will, Stuart, you're going down this hallway. It actually comes, there's a little like, you see a little priest office where there are empty boxes of votive candles. Like
Mhm.
there used to be a ton of them, but there are very few left. Uh, and there's a back door, and you kind of peek out, and you will see that woman, and you will see these two figures. Uh, each of them have one of her arms, and they are pulling in different directions.
Like they're holding her by her arms. They don't have
Yes.
her arms.
Yeah.
Okay, got
No,
it.
they are pulling her by her arms. She's a ways away from here, and she can't scream, so you're not hearing that. What do you
Um,
do?
I don't have any scrap, but I'm gonna run and try to like knock one of them off of her.
Okay, that feels a little more like risk. You're not trying to actually do damage. You just want
Okay.
to get them off, one of them off of her.
Foolhardy. Yes, I
Okay,
accept that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
absolutely. So right now you're standing at 2 dice.
Hmm.
I think Luke would also help in this situation, like seeing this. He would also like done and like and Stuart goes for one, Luke will go for the other.
Okay. So if you want to help, you can mark a fear and give Stuart another die.
We'll do just that.
3 dice, Stuart.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any stories that will make sense to do here. Yeah, I'll go with 3 dice.
Okay.
That's a 5. It's
That
okay.
is a 5. So you can take harm, or you can take a minor consequence. Your intent is to get her free.
Hmm.
The minor consequence would be you do that, but you go crashing to the ground.
Yeah, I'll take that consequence.
Okay. So you hit and knock this figure off from her, and it will pull back its webbed hands from gripping her and kind of staggers back. Uh, you see this jigsaw figure.
Mhm.
Like you can see the lines where it has been put together out of multiple people. And you kind of go crashing to the ground. Luke, the other one still has a hold of her. You want to try and get this one off?
Yes.
How do you want to do that?
I think Luke is probably going to like take one of the heavy pieces of equipment that he has and like just chuck it at the
Okay.
figure holding it.
So I do think that's probably going to be scrap for
I
the
have
fight.
nothing in scrap. Can
So
I?
you'll be rolling 1 die. You can tell a story or push yourself.
I think I'm going to push myself because there's no this story that I think would fit.
Okay. All right.
Well, just throwing something.
So 2 dice, mark 2 fear.
Yes. So that's 2 dice. That is a
Hmm.
3.
So you've grabbed up this piece of wood and you throw it at this figure, and the figure like lets go. The woman catches that piece of wood and swings it and hits you in the side of your head. And you will feel your like blood coming out of there, and your hearing is sort of deafened there. Uh, 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 so you may resist that if you wish. I think with nerve or luck.
I could resist, or I could not. I'm gonna deal with the consequences. No desist.
Okay. Sorry. You said not resist?
Yes, not
Okay.
desist.
So go ahead and under harm level 1, put like deafened. As you're kind of holding off, your ear is ringing. And the other thing is as you kind of sitting up, Stuart, Luke, you do that. One of these figures has been knocked back. The other one still has this big stick. Is you will hear a sound from out to sea, like a much louder version of that song. And I think you can see something coming in from the ocean.
Do I get an advantage at that because I'm a definite vanilla?
Yeah, I think you barely hear it. It's probably helping you a little bit that you've got this ringing in your ear. Stuart, what do you do?
Um, hmm. Do I try to help the lady, or I think my instinct would be to start slashing at the one that is nearby that I knocked down with the blade that I took off the trap.
Okay. That is definitely scrap then.
That is definitely a scrap. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, what so is spinning a story, is that the character spinning the story, or is that the player spinning the story?
Generally, it's the character spinning story. The tale you tell is like in some cases it reads like you have to tell it out loud. Like for
Right.
example, the personal hell. But I'm actually fine with you. Like I think it actually makes more sense in the context of this of us kind of flashing back
Mhm.
to tell a story here for this to show us something about your past.
Yeah. Um, what did they call the maker? Was that
The maker, yes.
the maker? Yeah. Um, I think the flashback is uh, watching a low budget horror film called The Maker. That was like like very very small release, maybe straight to VHS or something,
Mm-hmm.
or DVD. And yeah, it like had the like John Larroquette scroll like based on a true story.
Yes.
And it was like more, it was like more Texas Chainsaw than like creepy Dr. Moreau people, but it was about like a guy that like kidnapped people in like a roadhouse and used them to like make uh, Dr. Moreau type monsters
Okay.
with.
So that means we are looking at 2 dice right now.
And I'm gonna push myself, I think, because fear is definitely
Yeah,
definitely in there.
3 dice.
That's a 5.
That is a 5. So uh you can take harm, uh, or you can take a minor consequence. The minor consequence being that you draw the attention of this thing.
Ooh, I like that consequence, so I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
I love it.
I think that uh as
I think
you
the connection to the movie was like the protagonist of the movie like got away by like cutting apart the animals or people
yeah.
animals that the maker put together. So that's why.
Yeah, I think it's horrible. You cut this thing, it comes apart under you as you're pushing on it. It's in your hands, it's all over the place. And it lets out that cry, and you hear the responding cry from out at sea, and you know this thing is coming here for you and Luke. Luke, you're kind of holding on. You've heard something. This figure is still in front of you. What do you want to do? Do you want to try and flee? Do you want to try and hit this thing? Do you want to try and grab Stuart? What do you want to do?
Probably, I think Yeah, I think Luke probably just like now it's like he's sending it out, probably just trying like lunge at these figures like legs, like lunge like grab his legs, have it fall down over so
Mhm.
he cannot like hit him. And yeah, and I think I'm going to I'm just going to do that. So that would be probably a scrap, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to spin a story in that case.
Okay.
So I think that when Luke was like researching like the bit of information about this like island beforehand, he like found like a record that talked about like a historic tragedy that took place at this land. This is on the east coast. Okay, so we're thinking perhaps maybe a long time ago, like before the Americas were discovered, the Vikings landed on the island and perhaps built a bit like an outpost here
Mhm.
to serve as it. But then one day, like everyone on the island that was there just disappeared. And no one knows where they went. It just like seemed they just vanished one day without a trace. And that some people, like maybe like out of Viking ships that were like in the area, reported like hearing like strange noises from the island. But when they went to investigate, they just found no one there.
Perfect. So that will give you 2 dice to roll.
Okay, let's see. Two
Double
sixes.
6.
Nice.
So I think you can knock this one that struck you down, absolutely drop it, and grab Stuart up off the ground. Like, both of these figures are done. That woman has run off somewhere. And you can grab onto Stuart and maybe start running in the direction that Emma and Bella had headed in. Does that seem fair?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Okay. Emma, Bella, uh, you hear the responding cry from out to sea. What do you do, Bella?
So the father, is
The
he kind
father
of out of
has
the
knocked
way
the
or
priest out of the way, yes.
okay? So there's something worse than what we're already up against, is what I'm hearing.
That's a
Um,
good way to read the situation.
in that case, I'm leaving. I'm gonna run outside and see where this cry from out sea is coming
Yeah.
from.
So you will rush outside. You've already cleared the priest, so I don't think there's necessarily a fleet roll, but you will see this figure coming in from the ocean. And I'll go ahead and make my spend. It is maybe 10 feet tall. Uh, it has a couple of sets of arms. It definitely looks fish-like, but sick fish like that. And it is coming in out of the ocean, and you will also see that there are other things coming with it. If they're folk, mermaids, or whatever, they're very badly made because they're struggling like sea turtles up out of the surf to get there, slowly crawling with their human arms, pulling them along the sand. And uh, you'll hear that cry of it again. And I think over that way, you will see Stuart and Luke running towards you. Emma, what are you doing?
Getting the hell out of there and then, following following Bella out. But I think upon seeing all that, um, shit. We need to get off this. What do they want? What are they gonna do? Gotta get off this place. Do you remember seeing a dock? Do you remember seeing anything? A boathouse, something? To get out of here?
I mean, how did we get? I mean, well, we got on here by a ferry, so
Yeah.
there's.
I think I want to bring the two pairs together here.
Mhm.
I think we are at the end of Act 2.
Yeah.
So at the end of Act 2, all of you get to advance.
Okay.
Which means that you can either take a new special ability, or you can add +1 to 2 different action ratings, or +2 to 1 action rating. Still can't go above 3. So I'll let you think on that and choose that. And then, while I think about that, we have to choose a plot twist. So it's a hidden cult, a desecrated shrine, or an abandoned witch house. I think the first two can make sense in terms of what we're doing here.
Definitely
Certainly.
sounds like a cult to me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A hidden cult. So let's each of you gets to choose one of the questions from the hidden cult thing and answer that. So Bella, on the end of Act 2 page, which question would you like to answer? Now, maybe as you're having a chance to see what's going on, what features we might see here that have been hidden from us previously.
I mean, I'll go with the easy stuff that is most directly relevant to me. Do I just pick a question and answer it?
Absolutely.
I mean, what offering do the cultists make to the hunter? Historically, they've offered teenagers.
And that camp closed down, started
Yep.
to eat their own.
Exactly.
Okay. Luke, from that list of a hidden cult questions, which one would you like to answer?
Can we come back to me later as I ponder?
Sure, absolutely. Emma, which question would you like to answer?
Let's see. Sorry, I was trying to pick out another
Yeah,
skill.
I know. I'm putting all these things in people.
Which one did you answer, Bella?
I did number 3. What offering do they make to the hunter? I
Oh, that's right.
said
Teenagers.
historically teenagers, now their own and or us.
Right. What does the hunter provide the cult with? He provides, or it provides the maid. It's like to perpetuate worship of its creation. It's like it provides more of the maid. Yeah.
Excellent. And Steward, what is your question?
I think it's how the cult has kept its existence secret.
Okay.
And I think that's with they have like purposefully encouraged these legends and myths and cryptid sightings of weird things. Like, oh yeah, that's just stories that kids tell, or whatever.
Excellent. And Luke, do you want to pick one of those?
Yeah, perhaps what does the home of the cultists look like? Like, I think perhaps somewhere on the island, like there's a cove, and in the cove, like they'll have like a perhaps like a shrine to the hunter, where like they come over like when the time is needed, and like place the offerings, like the teens there, and then the hunter just like perhaps comes into the cove and collects.
Absolutely. And I think the ritual that you've witnessed kind of ties into what the cultists like are provided by the hunter. They they have a kind of immortality, bloodless, rebuilt. Some of them, the sacrifices are changed over time, are jigsaw put together. I think you've seen one of the few non-cult survivors, that woman and her daughter that she keeps in the basement to keep from being changed further. Uh, and this is a place, this thing, it has lost its kind, and in its insanity is trying to rebuild. And you know that it will never work. We're going to take 5, come back, and move into Act 3. Luke, what did you take for your advance?
From advance, I took 1 into scrap because I have a feeling that we're going to be doing a lot of that, and 1 into hold because
Okay,
that seems like to be useful.
absolutely. Emma, what did you take?
I took 1 more in scavenge because I'm going to put some shit together to get us off this rock, and then
Okay,
another one in scrap because we're probably gonna have to fight for our lives.
fair enough. Stuart?
Yeah, I added 1 to scrap to reflect my recent scrap, and 1 in flee because that sounds like what he wants to do.
And Bella?
Then we covered.
Yes.
I took +1 to risk and scrap.
So you are outside of this like community building. Uh, you know that Sam and the priest are still inside and going to be coming out here soon. You'll see that figure lumbering out of the water, the other figures by it. It's probably still heading towards where the 2 that Stuart and Luke knocked down are, because that's where it heard that call. Get the sense that it operates slightly differently in terms of how it detects things. So, Emma, what are you doing?
Oh, I am totally scavenging to see if I can look around and find something that we can use to get off this rock, for
So
sure.
you're rushing towards the shore to try and find some kind of boat or look around
Like,
for
yeah,
something?
opposite from where they're coming from, like maybe one of the other directional coastlines or whatever.
Okay. Let's have you roll a scavenge.
Yep. So 2 for scavenge. That's 3 already. Let me see if there's anything I want to do. Oh boy. Um. mm. I mean, I feel like like 2 of my stories have already been told.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Um. Yeah, let me push myself. I want that extra die. So
Okay.
2 more fear. And because I
Absolutely.
have harm, I need to add another fear, don't I?
Only if you're running.
Oh,
It's
okay.
only for fleeing.
Okay, great. Okay. All right, so 1 more. All right. 6.
A 6. So I think that you will find that sort of up towards the uh, like maybe there used to be like a place for camping or something, like a shed there. You will find a canoe.
Hmm.
It is going to be a tight fit for 4 of you in a canoe. Uh, but there it is. It is paddleless, but it is present. And we'll say, since it's old school, it's made of wood.
Mhm.
Stuart, you see Emma running and desperately and looking all over the place, kind of splitting off from you all. And probably you'll see that priest in the doorway at this point too. What are you doing?
I think I'm going after Emma. Um, she's pretty sharp and probably has a good idea. So whatever her play is, I'm backing it up.
Okay. So you will run over towards. I think that you will see that there are a couple of people stumbling out of the wood line towards where you and Emma are. Uh, they are dressed in those same uniforms that Sam was when you first found. And they are coming forwards. Uh, they are, like the others, a collage of body parts uh, and making their way there. These bodies were not assembled with any kind of eye to, like, the legs being the same size.
Mhm.
So they are shuffling forward, coming towards you. Uh, Bella, what are you doing?
Okay. It- on second thought, I would like to um I'd like to undo the advance I took and take a different one.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I'm instead of doing +1 to risk and scrap, I'm gonna take another special ability. I'm gonna take the one called To Hell with It.
Okay.
When you try something ridiculous and hope it works, make a fortune roll, and then things happen.
What what is it that you want to have happen? What are you trying to do?
I'd like to try to distract the maker by offering myself to it. I'm not gonna kill myself here. I want to still get away, but I want to see if I can cover the escape of everybody else long enough to get whatever they're gonna do up and running.
So you're running towards where the maker is, getting closer and gesticulating or shouting or something?
I'm gonna run up to it and say, "I'm here. Don't you recognize me? Why didn't you take me? You should have taken me. Why did you take Sam?" And I will act offended.
Okay. Uh, so you have a luck of 3.
Uh,
Even on a fortune roll, you get an extra dice. So that's 4 dice plus an additional die. That's 5 dice.
okay.
I'm going to say my famous last words now. There's almost no chance you could fail.
All right, 5 dice. Here we go.
Oh,
Ooh,
I
good
saw
thing
that
we got the
6.
last one.
So this thing, it is terrifying and huge, and uh, its eyes are weeping a kind of a greenish goo as it looks down towards you, and it opens its mouth and it starts singing a song, and you can kind of understand it. It is welcoming you. It is welcoming you to the fold. And it is telling you that it will make you something beautiful and you will swim in the ocean. And it begins lumbering towards you. Luke, you see this. Emma, Stewart off one way. And in that moment of pause, see Bella run to the beach and start shouting to this thing. And it turns and it's singing to Bella and coming towards her. What do you do, Luke?
Feel this is like in a hard place.
Yes.
Uh, I think seeing the two run off in one direction and seeing Belgo in the other and shout something, which I don't hear. I'm probably going to look around and see if there's like any place where we could potentially like go to find something of use.
Okay. So does that feel like scavenge?
That most likely is scavenge.
Okay.
I think I'm going to spin a story
Okay.
about abandoned property a few miles from here. So perhaps on the island, there was like perhaps like in the 18th, 19th century, perhaps like there like came like a wealthy family onto the island to decide to like build like a mansion or something, and perhaps and that in that place, uh, there's like it's been abandoned for a long time, but it's like there's rumors around that perhaps there can be things of use, like valuables, and it's a big place. Surely there's something that can be
Okay.
used as possibly a makeshift weapon or just something that can possibly help.
Absolutely. So you're going to be rolling 2 dice.
Okay. I had a double 6, so this is going to be okay. Just on 6 now.
So I think you will run, you will look around. Clearly that place has been scavenged over time, and maybe some of the artifacts are brought here. And that was an old whaling family, crazy whalers that went out and hunted for whales on the Atlantic. And I think you will see in amongst like nets and old frayed ropes and things, you will see a harpoon,
Mhm.
long pole, beautiful spear point on the end. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you can get a hold of that. Uh, Emma, you've got this canoe, kind of heavy, no paddle. You see those figures coming towards you. Stuart has followed up behind you, but you don't see Luke or Bella. What do you do, Emma?
I gotta need to get this in the water, but these people. Where the hell are Luke and Emma and Luke and Bella? Where are they? She's yelling at Stuart.
I don't know, but they're slow. Where they better. I probably see Bella like yelling, like,
Yeah,
"Oh no!" I think Bella's doing something real dumb.
Oh God. Uh, I I mean, we can go out on this. We can go out on this, but there's no way to steer this thing, or move it. I mean, can you
It's
help me
kind
find a paddle?
Is there like a plank or any
Something. Yeah.
driftwood or something? Anything with pedal her hands? Yeah, yeah. I
that.
think I'll
Let's
scrounge
start with this.
around.
Let's do the scavenge with
Yeah,
Stuart. Do you want to mark fear to help?
yeah. I'll mark for you to help.
So Emma, roll then 4 dice for scavenge.
Okay, great.
Nice.
That's a 6.
That is a 6. I think that you will absolutely find a paddle. And it's an actual paddle. Like it's a good solid paddle, like taped up a little bit, but it's
Mhm.
in good shape. Stuart, you help Emma, you find this paddle. What do you do then? These things are still coming down the towards where you are. Uh like the threat is present.
Yeah. Um, if I have the paddle, I'm gonna yell for like Luke, Bella. You got like 30 seconds, and brandish the paddle. Not swinging yet, but if someone comes close,
Yeah.
they're gonna get what for.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I think that what do you want to roll to drive these things off to keep them from getting up and interfering with you and Emma?
hold, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that feels
Sounds
right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
uh,
I will definitely push myself for this.
okay, 2 fear. So that's 3 dice.
Back off. That's a 6.
Oh, that
Nice.
1 and 3.
One,
I was
three,
so
6.
excited there. I could taste it.
Yes.
But yeah, you will, and it is the thing is you swing it with the edge of it hard enough, and these things come apart when you hit them. And they and each time they don't keep lumbering forward. There is a moment where they stop and they look down at the limb like they're uncertain what has happened.
Mm.
Like they don't quite understand what they are now. Before they start moving back. But you drive him off. Stewart, Emma, you start moving the canoe
Mhm.
down towards the water.
We're
Uh,
screaming for Luke and Bella.
Bella. Let's come to
Oh,
Luke.
and I guess I should have taken +1 die for that, but it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Luke, you've got this harpoon. I want to come to you first before I come to Bella. What do you want to do? You see Stewart and Emma, like they've got a canoe and they are pulling it towards the shoreline.
I have a feeling my action is going to be as well than the symptom as Bella's, but I think that Luke, now seeing like the hunter, like the just giant like mermaid thing, and like the various thing, like he's gonna think to lose it. Initially, like when he saw the creature in the basement in the house, he was just like talking to himself. Oh, it's probably not. It's probably just human experimentation, medical malpractice. It's nothing supernatural. But with this giant mermaid now, he's basically coming to terms that, oh no, wait, the supernatural is there. My cousin
Yeah.
had some kind of point, and he's starting to just like lose it a bit. And the hit he took to the head, and probably all the like blood, that isn't helping his case. And he gets angry about how he spent so much of his life up to this point trying to prove them wrong, to make it so that his family's situation wasn't like all for nothing. And now he's feeling like it was all in vain, and he's looking for something to take out that rage that's now built up. He takes a harpoon, looks to the mermaid, the giant mermaid, and probably just begins stumbling towards the mermaid.
Okay. Run down there by Bella. Got this thing out. I think what you've just told us counts as spinning a story. I think that feels right. So that's scrap.
I would probably
Uh,
also push it.
yeah, absolutely. So 4 dice, mark 2 fear, and roll 4 dice.
Yeah, let's look it up. So 14 total. Or is it 30?
Hang on.
I think I pushed. That's one. I have one already.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, 4.
So you're 2, 5. So I think that you will stab and distract this thing as you wished. But do you want to suffer harm or a minor consequence?
He's. See, to be honest, I'm fine with either or in this situation. Perhaps the minor harm.
Okay. So the minor harm. So I think that you can mark in that other harm level 1 box essentially as the thing swings, it hits you in the arm, and I think you'll feel the scratches of this thing, like it tears into your clothing, with the thing, and you can feel, and like you immediately know those scars are infected. Like it's just horrible. But you've kind of driven this thing back a bit there and injured it. I actually have a clock for this. So I'm going to put a tick on that clock. Bella, Luke runs up to assist you and stabs this thing as as it's coming to you, stops its song, which was so calming in some ways.
Okay.
What do you do?
Uh,
See Stewart and uh, Emma running for the shoreline with that canoe.
mhm. And we have you stabbed with a harpoon, right?
Yeah, yeah. Luke's
Um,
been kind of stabbing it, got hit, bleeding now. I see blood running down the side of Luke's face.
mhm. Well, it's the best opening I'm ever gonna get. I'm gonna take off for Emma and Stewart. Um, and hey, if I could help Luke, I would.
Okay, so
I think. Yeah,
so
I don't know what else I
flee.
could do to help. Yeah, flee sounds right.
Okay,
Which is really too bad. Given my stats, but that's how it goes. I think I have one die.
you have one
Um,
die right now.
I will push myself though,
Okay,
so we'll
so
make it two.
that is two dice.
Okay.
He's a six.
Good thing we had the second one.
Could have been a so bad. And I think, the sand is hard. Like I think you stumble for a bit and then you get your feet under you and you are running, running. You see Sam has come out of the building and she is looking after you and calling your name even as you are running away.
Yeah.
She says, "Don't leave me again."
Oh,
And
ouch.
running towards it. Emma Stewart, you look, Bella is coming this way. Luke is harpoon out, stabbing at this thing, even as these other creatures come out. What do you do, Emma? Do you put the canoe in the water?
That's literally what she's saying. She's saying shit, shit, shit as she's doing, and she's like yelling for Luke. It's like, God.
You have a choice. You
I
can put the
know,
canoe in the water and get started,
I
or
know.
you'd have to run down the beach towards this thing to go and help Luke.
I can't do it. I can't leave him. So I think this is where
Mhm.
she's going to like kind of help it along a little bit more, and then she's going to uh push, you know, she's going to kind of like have her foot on the canoe and say, if you don't see me again, remember me. And she plants a big kiss on Stuart's face. And
What?
she's gonna run towards Luke.
Okay. So your goal right now is to get, like, not attack this thing, but to get Luke, like pull him away
Yeah,
safely.
yeah.
Okay. So I that feels like hold. Uh, and you've got a +1 die for
Yep.
protecting.
Yep.
So already we're standing at a 4.
Yep.
You are going to end up by this thing still, but you are going to be protecting Luke. So we'll come to that. So you're standing at 4 dice.
Yeah. Everything has already happened, like for my spin the story, so I'm just gonna like leave it at 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Ah, 2 6s.
Two
Nice.
sixes. So I think that this is, as Luke, as you've kind of staggered back and like given a shove and left this harpoon in this thing, and it's now trying to pull it out. And you'll feel this grab, and you'll see that Emma kind of stops, kicks the face of one of these things coming out of the water as it's warbling, grabs onto you, and begins running back down the beach, Luke. Uh, What do, Luke? Do you let Emma do this?
Don't swallow me like that, Tom. Damn it.
It's a horror story. We're nearing the end. It's a go big or go home.
Oh no.
So I think Luke is not willingly going to let Emma take him away. He's going to kind of like just like probably like shake it off, and then he's going to run towards the creature again and try to like grab the harpoon and like just like push it in like deeper.
So Emma, I think that is, a player autonomy. I think you grab on, but Luke shakes you off
Yeah.
and rushes to do this. And I think that you realize, like I think with the 2 6s, I think you can realize what's going on and start sprinting back
Yeah.
towards the others. Luke, let's have you roll that scrap.
Let's see. I'm more than likely to die here, so I'm just going to use push yourself last time to
Okay.
fill up on fear.
So
Could I spin a
that's
story?
3 dice.
Maybe not. Perhaps. Yeah, okay. Perhaps maybe in like ancient times, like look heard about like the whole veiling process and how the veilers would like just like I know nothing about veiling. Perhaps we like jump at the veils with the harpoons and like just use their like body weight to try and like push the spears deeper. And as he does this, he's probably going to just like yell out like a Moby Dick a quote or something like. Let's see if I can actually find something.
Call me Ishmael or
Those hard I stab at thee.
Yeah.
stab at the.
Towards the Irodor, to all destroying bat and conquering Ver, to the last I grapple with thee. From hell's heart I stab at thee. For hate's sake I spit my last breath at thee. So that's going to be scrap with
So 3
4.
dice, right?
Or is it 3 dice or 4 dice?
If you're doing the story spin, we'll give you the 4. So let's have you roll.
A 5.
So harm or a minor consequence.
It's
Here, let me do this. Let me offer you this because I think this is appropriate. I think that you will hurt this thing badly. And I think that you get to tell us how you die.
yeah, okay, that works for me.
Stabs into it, like it roars and cries back, and all the other things roar as well. Like you can tell you haven't killed it, but you have driven it deep. You have badly injured this thing. What happens to you?
I think as like I as look like just like it drives it deeper, the creature like just like the hunter like grabs Luke and probably like just like throws him at like the he probably like throws him like over its shoulder like into the water behind it, and perhaps and with his damaged not the, yeah with his injured arm he can't really swim to safety, and perhaps a few of the fake mermaids can just swim up and just drag him under.
Yeah, we see that swarming like fish do when food is thrown in the water. And I think that you vanish down even as this thing begins to kind of turn bloodily and it's hurt. So it doesn't follow you guys. Stuart, Bella, do you wait for Emma or do
Oh,
you
yeah.
go? Bella?
Yeah, I'm fine with waiting.
Okay.
Yep.
Emma comes back. I think you see Sam stumbling down the beach towards you. Even as Emma, you run, can jump into the canoe, and it is the three of you. There's now a little more room in the canoe and one paddle. And we see you push off from the shore and head out into the night because it's gotten dark, uh, to the background chorus of the sounds of this thing in pain and calling its children to it. And you will head out into the darkness.
I hate being on the water. Ugh.
And that's our movie. That's our episode of
God.
The
That's
Hunted.
so good. That's so
Oh,
good.
so good. Oh my
Awesome.
gosh.
I would like to do. We got just a few minutes, and then we'll let because I know Mads has a game at 1. Mads, anything you want to throw out as stars for the session?
Oh my gosh. This is the first time I've gotten to play as a player, The Hunted. I've run it like, several times and I enjoyed this so damn much. Thank you very much for running this, Lowell.
Oh, good.
Like the little misdirects and then like, what the hell's going on, like the little mystery. I mean, I loved your setup and I loved like, the the horror movie that you took us through. So good. And I loved my fellow characters. Oh my gosh. I like you could see like Bella getting torn, like what the hell's going on? I mean, like, this is not the way that it was when I was last here. And then all those personal hell
Mm-hmm.
stories were really good.
Yeah.
And then just like trying to face off against it at the end, even if it was a misdirect, that was also good. And then Stuart, just that byplay between you and Luke, like in the church, was absolutely hysterical. It's kind of like
Fun.
that scene that you kind of need in a horror movie, just kind of like takes the edge off, but then it gets really ramped up afterwards. So good. And then Luke, oh Luke, God, like honor you, man,
Yeah.
honor you.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Pour
But
one
you,
out for
you
Luke.
kind of brought us
Yes.
here, so it's kind
Kind of your fault.
too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
there
But
is
we're
that.
still
Yeah.
we're still like, well, thank you for saving us. Thank you. But wow, decisions, so good.
Awesome. Dom, anything you want to point to as stars, things you dug particularly from today?
I really like the whole vibe and how you like incorporate like the touchstones and like the various mood that we talked about as well. In that, I did enjoy like how you put out the details we said as like details in the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like the example I can think of like how you mentioned like all the body that you found was not in one piece, but it was like
That was a great
neatly
detail.
done.
Yeah.
Like how you like just blood out in that meant, oh yeah, it was stitched together. And so
Awesome.
that's how you like brought like this like those to play into the bigger story. As Matt said, starts to all of my fellow co-players and how they play that characters, as well to you, Robert, to just making this great little horror mystery and how you manage to just bring it all together.
Awesome. David, Bella.
Yeah, I really appreciated, Lowell, how you permitted me to do so many references to my character's past that were interwoven that really helped me to connect with the story. I also really liked how it seemed like a vampire story, and then it was actually something worse. If you can believe such a thing. Mark, same thing that Mads mentioned. I loved the scenes between you and Dom. Mads, I liked seeing the two uses that I remember at least of the save your friends moves. You did one for me and then the other one at the very end. That was great. And Dom, the harpoon was a sweet climactic scene. That's so much cooler than just we all run away. So I thought that was really neat too. But yeah, no, it's a super fun system. I'm enjoyed it and looking forward to playing it again sometime.
Awesome. And Stewart.
Yeah, same. I definitely want to play this again or run it sometime. Yeah, like I double star on the misdirect of like like, I don't think we're doing vampires, but that's 100% what Stewart thinks it would be. So that was really fun to play with. Really enjoyed working off of everyone, and it felt like everyone, like all of the, like, clearly these archetypes are there for a reason. I feel like these instances of all these archetypes like really fit well and like serve the story in different ways. It was really really cool to see. Yeah, and sorry for like thanks for running it and all the stuff. Yeah, good time all around.
I want to call it, this is a really good game. Like, I think it's very well written. I think it's
Yeah.
super fun to play. It's got great setup. It's got lots of room for new play sets and for development of things. And I think it's dynamite. I like how the system rolls. I loved everyone's characters. I appreciated you playing off of one another and giving me lots of rich material to build on. That is always a thing, is when the players are throwing me things to work with. So I appreciate that. I am going to stop the recording.